Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our help desk management system. So as you can see, this is our landing page. So you can actually sign in to the application. Then within the application, we have our graphs. So on our previous video, we actually added these graphs, but we have not actually translated these to the data. So we'll be doing that in our upcoming series. So if you're following this video and you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. So on our tickets module, you'll be able to see that we have tickets, then you have the recent tickets. We have the ticket number, the title, the priority description, that is the ticket subcategory, created by, created on, status, the number of comments, and even the actions. So we also have the assigned tickets. So these are the tickets that has been assigned. We have the resolved tickets, closed tickets. Then we have the tickets comments. So all these are all the comments that has been done. Then we have the ticket categories. So you can categorize your tickets. That is the areas of address that you can see. You have the hardware, software, marketing. Then you have the subcategories per the main category. Then we have the audit trails. Then on the audit trails, as you can see, these are the actions, the module, the table that was affected, the timestamp, IP address, and the user. Then we have the system users. So these are all the users that has been created within the application. We have the user ID, the first name, middle name, last name, phone number, email address, gender, and you can actually add a user. Then you have the system codes. So these are all the options that we are tracking within our application, like the gender. And then we have the particular options for the example, gender, male and female. Those are the details. So these details that you can see here, we are actually using them as drop down, and also the statuses of our various modules. We are actually using them here. Then we have the system roles and the departments. So what I want us to do today, on our recent tickets, as you can see, we have the tickets here. So assuming we want to actually do like searching in this kind of application, so we need a way to search it. So you can use the normal data table here, or you can actually have a section for filtering. So that is what we are going to do today. So what I want us to do, let's just go back to our application. That is the recent tickets. So I'll just go back to the tickets. Then under index, I want us to add something here. So I want us to add a form. So so I want us to copy this at the top here. Then I want us to remove this. So we are going to, let me actually zoom it so that you guys can see. So we are going to add a form here. So I'll just do div. Then I'll also do div. So these are already closed. So inside here, you're going to have a form. So this form of ours, we are going now to have various fields that can be searched within the application. So you can actually copy one of the form and create. So we have it here. Then you are going to paste it here. So you see this form. So we're going to add it here. So let me just zoom it that way. So, but now the action here, it will be index. Then we have it will be a post method. Then we have our, can now close it here, div. So on this form, this actually should be form. So on this form of ours now, we need, so I'll just remove this. So we need to have some fields that we are going to search with. So on our application, you can see we have the title, priority, ticket subcategory, the created by, and the created on, and even the status. So one of the things that you can search with, you can actually search with the title. So I'm going to add so let me just add an input field. So I'm going to copy one of the input fields here. So let me just copy this. So on the index, we are going to have an input field. So this one I'm going to do, that is a row. Then I'm going to close it here. So this input field, we are going to have it as, we are going to have the title. Then we are going to use now the title to search our application. And the good thing is we are actually using the view model. So here I want us, instead of having these as MD, so I can say this is a row, and I can say we can actually do MD12. Then I can say this is I can do here 3. I can also copy this and I can add it here, and I can say created by. So you can search by the person who created. So you can say created. So this is created by ID. So you can actually search by the person who is created. So created by here will be, you can actually use the name. So I'm going to add a field on our view model. So here we can say, so this is, we can say created by as a string. So I'm going to do here string. Then I can say, we can actually say username. So you can actually say, or you can say created by username. So you can do here. So this one will now give us the person who created. So we are going to search, we want to search by the person who created that particular ticket. So if we do that, let's just launch our app and we should be able to see this particular form. So I'm going to format our application. So at the top here, if I launch our app, we should now be able to see a section whereby we can actually update or even search our application. So for those who are watching this channel for the first time, you can actually subscribe, comment down below, and in case you're following this series, share the video and you can buy us coffee. If you want to buy us coffee, you can use the link down below to buy us coffee. And in case you need the source code, you can also use the link down below to claim the source code, which actually goes a long way in helping us do more of these videos. So let's just launch our app and see how our index page looks like. So that is our app launching. So we are going to sign in. Then when we sign in, we are going to recent tickets. Then we should be able to see now what we have, the changes that we have done. So I'm just going to the recent tickets. And as you can see on the recent tickets, we have two fields. So we have the title and the created by. So these two, I'm going to have them as I want to have them as a row. So this one, I'm going to have them as a row. So let me just do this div class. So I'll just do class, then I'll just do row. Sorry, I'll do row. Then if I close this, so I'm going to have this here. So I want to have that. So if we update, so I want us to have these particular fields. Let's just wait and see. Yeah, so it has been updated. So as you can see, we have the title and we have the created by. So you can actually change the display names. So I'm going to our view model. So on the title, we can say, so I think that is already labeled. So let's just see. This is the title. So for the created by, so we can actually label this. We say display name. So we can say display name. Then I'm going to have here say created by. So if I do that, then that will be added. So if you go back to our view, so this is where we have. So we have the created by. So I want also to include the status. So I'm going to add the status. Then here I'll just say status ID, and here is also the status ID. Then you can also have the priority. So I'm also going to have the priority. So here I'll just do priority ID and also priority ID. So if you just check on our application, you have the title, priority, and then you can actually have the category. So let me just also add another option for the category. So I'll just do category category ID. So let me just go back here, or you can just do subcategory. Let's just do sub category ID, or you can just do category ID. So let me update our view here. We need a category ID. So I'm going to add a category ID here. So if I do that, so here I'll say category ID. So you can say category, ticket category. So that is our name. So if we remove this, then here you can say ticket category ID. So this will be int. So now on our index, so you can replace this with that, then we'll now have our category. So this is now how our form looks like. So what I want us to do is, so I'll just do here. So I'll just update. So let's just update. So we should now be able to have all those particular forms on our application. So these will now help us to, whenever we are now doing anything, we can actually search, and that will give us different ways. So let's just see. So if we go to our application now, we can search based on those particular priority, title. So I'm going to our tickets, then recent tickets. So you can see we have the title, created by, ticket category, status, and the number. So, but I want us to kind of have these, so we can do here margin. So you can have, so this form. So I want to add some styles on this particular row P3. So if I update, I should now be having some spacing here. So as you can see now, our field now looks a bit better. So some of you might be wondering for the priority and the tickets. So the next thing that we need actually to have here is actually our buttons. So we need to have two buttons, the buttons to search and even the buttons to clear. So we need to have buttons for searching and even for clearing the records that we have. So what we are going to do is we need to now add those particular buttons on our index page, so that whenever we are now searching, we should be able to use those particular buttons to search. So I want us to now go to our, app, and we need to add a button to filter. So let's just go back here. So I want to go here. So this is our form. So I want us to add the button down here. So I'm going to do div class. So I want to have another row here down. Then I can actually have, so I can do div class. You can say, so this one will be, let's just call it form group. So I'll just do form group. Then we are going to close that. Then we can now have a button. So I'm going to say button. Then you can say type is actually submit. Then you can also say class. You can have btn. Then that will be success. Then you can say this particular button, the name will be search. So you can call it search. So this button of ours now will be the one that we are going to click. So if you click on it, then it should now be able to give us the results. So as you can see, this is our button, and we need also to have some spacing on our button. So I'm going to do P3 as well. So if we do that, I'm going to have now my button. So as you can see, this is our button for searching. So we can even now, so for these two buttons, we need now to ensure that whenever we are searching everything here, if we click this button, it should actually filter our results. But now before that, I want us to check something. The created by and the statuses are actually something that are and the category are actually something that are predefined, and even the priority. So instead of having users to type in, we need to actually ensure that they are actually pre-populated. So how do we do that? Let's go back to our index controller. So we are going to the controller. So on our controller, we need now to pre-populate those particular fields. So let's just go back to our controller here under tickets. So we are going to under on our index. So this is where we have all those particular things. So here, so we need to ensure that we are now getting all those particular values. So one thing is, remember our status. So we can actually go back to our create action and take some of the status that we have been using there. So on our create action, so these are the statuses. So you see all this. So we need actually to copy them, and we can add them here on our index. So we are going to add them on our index here. So we'll be having our view data priority, which will give us all the priority statuses. So we can actually have a one dot per line rule so that you see. So that is it. Then it's giving us the ID and description. Then we also have the, let me squeeze this a bit. We also have the category and even the created by. So what I want us now to do is we need to have those as a drop down. So remember we had actually done the same thing like on our create, but on our creation. So it's actually the same thing. So you can actually take this, go back to our index, and on our category, you can actually replace this here, and you can just say this is category ID, and this is category ID. So we can remove this. Then you can say this is category ID. Then whenever you select, then you select the category ID. You can also remove this. Then this is view data, view back dot category. So this will give us the list of all the ticket categories. So the next thing is we also need to have the status. So this is it. Then you can replace this with the status ID. So you just select status, and then you can say this is our status ID, and the view data, we are going to have the status ID. But now I don't know if we have that particular section. So you see the statuses here, we don't have them. So what we need to do is we need to now have it on our, so we can actually copy one of these and duplicate. So I'm going to do that. Then you can say this is status ID, and then this is actually system code details. Then we need to say dot include. So this is dot include. You say x. So this is we should say x equals to x dot. So you say system code. Then we need to say here dot where. So now here we are now taking all the statuses. So we are now just saying where this is that, and it should give us all the statuses. So I'm going to do that. Then we need the ID and the description. So that is the only thing that we need. So if we do that, then we are going to get all the statuses. So here, that's closing that, and I should close that as well. So is there something wrong here? It says, so this is select system code details dot include this. Then we should say dot. I see. So this should actually close it here. So we should not, yes. So this one should be that way. And then we have the ID and the description. Then on our status, on our index, we'll now be having these as our SP items. Then we also have the priority. So we can also do the same. So we are going to copy this and we need to have it here. So if we do that, then we have these, and we also have this priority, and also we have this. So I don't know if we had that on our, so priority IDs are there. Then the created by, these are the users. So we are going to also have the drop down option for users. So I think we will now change. Remember, we had done this as string, so you can change this. Instead of someone typing in, they can just select from a list of users. So I'll just go back here. And then I'm going to, instead of now, you can actually use now the created by ID. Yes, so instead of creating this, I don't know even what we were doing when creating that. So we should have this as the created by, then we should also have these as created by. Then here, this is created by. So then here we can say select user. So once you have that, we have now the statuses. So here we say priority. So you can select the priority, you can select the status, you can select the category, the created user, and then you have the title. So we now have our, so let's just launch so that we see what we have done. So we now have our options for filtering. So assuming you want to filter based on those statuses, and even you can combine categories. Assuming you want to see all the hardware that are pending status, all the hardware that has been resolved, you can filter based on that status. So our app is launching. So for those who are new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, comment down below, and let's just proceed. So let's just go back to our recent tickets. Then as you can see, we now have our title, the users. As you can see, we have the categories, and you also have the statuses. So when you select on these statuses, you can now filter and even the priority. So one thing that we need now to do is we now have these particular values. We have the created by, ticket, select status, and even the priority. So we need to ensure that whenever you click search, it is actually able to filter our details and give us what we have provided. So let's just now go back to our controller. So I want us to go to our controller. Then on our controller, we are going now to add some. So let's just go to tickets. So here we are going to add some filters. So I want us now here, we can now put, so this will give us our list. But we can now say if VM is not equal to null, and so you can say end, sorry. So you can say end VM.title. So VM.title. So here we can say, can just do string dot is null or empty, we pass that. Then if we do this, so we have dot is null or empty. Then we now need to filter based on the title because we already now have the title here. So I'll just do here, I'll just say our VM.tickets equals to, say VM.tickets.where. So I can say X, say X. So I say this is equals to X dot tickets title. So our title equals to this. See? So if we do that, then it will actually filter our tickets. So you can also do the same here. So you can say now here you are saying created by ID, and you can say here created by, then you can say here created by ID. Then you can also say created, so you can do another thing here. We say status status, you can also say here status ID, but this one we are now saying if status is greater than 0. So that is an int. Then we can also say here priority ID. You can say priority ID is equals to that. Then we can say also here priority, this is category ID. So here we'll say tickets.category. So we have here category. So here we say category subcategory.category ID, category ID equals to, so we now have our category here. So what I want us to do, I want us to change something here. So I want us to say here variable, then you say all tickets, then you say that, then you say as queryable. So if we do that, then we can say as queryable. So you can say as queryable, then you can do here, just remove this. Then I want us now to say here our that equals to, so we need to change this. So I want us to change here, say tickets. So we'll say here tickets.where, we say here this.where, and let's not do to list. Let's just remove this. We also remove this. So here we'll say we'll now be assigning here. You say that is equals to that. We say that is equals to that. Then you also say this is equals to that, and this is where. Then we say here, so we need to close this. So we need to close this. You can also close this. Then you can also do away with this. You can do that. Then you can also do this. So you can have this as all tickets.where. Then you can say that is it. Then you can also do this, and also do this. Then you can say .where, that is it. Then we can now say here vm.tickets, we assign it now, we say .await. Then we say to list async. So if we do that, then we'll now have our list of tickets. So if we don't have any filters, then we'll just have all this particular list here. So let's just now launch our app and see. So I'm going to sign in, then try to access that particular module and see how that goes along. So I'm going here, then sign in, launch our app, then see how this goes. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, and let's just see how our application behaves. So if you also want the source code, you can claim the source code down using the link down below, and we will be good to actually help you in case you need any assistance. So I'm going to sign in and also try now to filter some records. So let's just launch our app. So there we go. So I'm now going to the tickets, recent tickets. And as you can see, it has actually done some filtering, which is not the case. You see, we don't have the data. So what is happening here? So if you come here and click here, then try to refresh our app, you'll notice that there's something that is actually, you see, the title is actually null. So we have not done something here. We need to say if it is not null. So we need to come here and put exclamation. We also put exclamation here. We also put exclamation where we have anything that is not null. Yes. So you see, it has actually filtered based on where the title is null. And that is not what we need. We need to filter only when someone has typed in something and they want to filter based on that keyword. So I'm going to log in here. Then if we log in, then go back to our app and just go to recent tickets. Then as you can see, we now have our values. But assuming I want to filter based on those statuses that are reopened, I can just come here and say reopened. And if I click search, you can see our status is now, we only have the tickets that are reopened. Assuming I want the one that are resolved, I click there and click resolved, and our status changes to resolved. Then I also escalated. If I click on escalated and search, you see we don't have any status that is escalated. Then I can say here in progress. Then I'll have all that in progress. We don't have any closed ones. You can see I have some items that are closed. If I just return the select status and filter, it will give me all the results. So you can also select, assuming you want by someone like, we can choose category. We say hardware. So if I filter, you'll see that we need to only get everything that is hardware. You see, these are only hardware tickets. So I can say I want hardware tickets, and also I want those tickets that has been assigned that are only hardware. So if I search, it will now use these two statuses, the ticket category and the status. So we now have hardware with the status assigned. So I think that is it for today, guys. So for those who are watching and you want to subscribe. If you want to also get the source code, you can get the source code from the link down below. And let's engage. See you in our next video. Bye.